Welcome. This is amazing that we have all of you here so far. I imagine we'll have a few more join, but I like to start on time so we can end on time. My name is Angie Workman. I'm the council membership chair. And I just wanted to thank you all for joining us, and we'll get started. And Dakota, are you ready to do our opening prayer?
Oh, I'm ready. Am I supposed to go? You want me to pray now? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, please.
Sorry. All right, I'm going to pray. Dear Lord, please help us this evening as we talk about membership and what we can do to grow here in the Crossroads West Council. Please bless that we may be inspired and we can learn what we need to learn. We say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you. And I'm just going to let Dakota take over and present what he has with groups of people outside. Thanks, Dakota.
Awesome. Let me turn this around.
Welcome to our joining night, Pack 1111. We're going to have you sign in here for your kids. All right.
Sign me out. Sign me out.
We're so happy that you guys came tonight. We have lots of fun activities. If you come down here, then Margaret will show you all the fun activities for your boys.
All right. Woohoo.
All right. Here. Have got it. Make your boat. Then you raise them down. So pick a boat.
All right, so at our joining night, we have a lot of games like the Renegata and then the archery that's over here. And then we also have crafts and knot making. And then we just invite them to do all the games, talk to parents, and then we have them sign on a form so we can get in contact with them after they do all the joining at the joining night. You're racing their boat.
Oh, pick a boat. Go, I pick a boat. Go. I pick a boat. And
So how we go try the archery over there.
Yay!
It's the murder being out of the way. Go ahead. Do one of the boats. So well. There we go. Have our joining night in September. Then we also put it on our flyer at the back to school night so we can get the word out to the families at the school.
Margaret, can you share a little bit about the success you had with your joining night?
Sure, join, thanks.
We had success. We had probably 3 or 4 kids sign up at our joining night.
And how long was your join night? How long did it, and where did you have it? Where was it held?
We had it last year. We did it for the first time. We had it at the Riverdale Park, and it was about maybe an hour or 2 on it. Yeah. And then we did it with 2 extra other packs, like 719 and then 542.
Okay,
So
so if you got
dates.
you got 4 that night, right? You got 4 that very night.
Are you inviting them that night? No, they come back to a different night. Right? You give them things that come to the activity later.
Yes. We give them the thing and we have them come to the activity.
I didn't introduce this properly. I apologize. PAC 1111, we asked them to come and demonstrate a joining night that they held last year. They had a pretty good success with it. And if anyone has any questions that's on this call right now to address to Margaret or Brian Hall, who have been putting this together and they're from PAC 1111, please ask them right now, rather than wait for the question and answer at the end, or you can throw it in a chat if you'd like to.
How did they tell people about the joining night?
You know what? I'm going to answer that question for them because they just walked away. So they do flyers at the schools, back to school nights. They put it on their Facebook page, word of mouth. You know, they give the kids invitations to take out to their friends. There's a lot of different ways that they get the word out about their join nights.
Did you have all of the activities or just one of them? Can't hear you.
Dakota, say what he's asking.
Sorry,
if you had all of the activities.
Yeah,
what's that?
So they did. They had all the activities there at the join night. It really is just a big party where the kids have a chance to participate in a scout-like activity, and then the parents can talk to the other leaders kind of about the unit, what they do, what it's all about, and what it means to join scouting.
They also have the different packs for different days.
That's right. They also invite the other packs in the area. So these guys here, they meet on Thursday nights, but we have some packs in the area that meet on Mondays, and so they invite them over as well. That way, when we're recruiting, we're not excluding anybody because of the day that they meet. They got lots of options. So, any other questions?
There was one in chat. Somebody asked, how did they get the info back to school night without getting referred to purchasing flyer space in peach jar?
Thank you. Did you get that, Dakota?
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it right here. It said, how do they get info back to school nights without interference? So I'm going to let Margaret answer this, how she does the back to school nights and what that looks like. These guys have been really successful on that.
Okay, so on the back to school nights, I get in contact with the principal myself, and either by a phone call or I just shoot them an email, tell them who I am and what pack I'm from. And then I just ask them if they would be able to let us have a table with flyers there so we can meet the parents at the back to school night while they're meeting the teachers. And I usually get a yes every single time.
How many schools do you guys have lined up so far this year?
6. Working on maybe 7. And working on a little bit more schools as well.
And would you say the key is to just ask? Would you say that's the key, to just go and ask?
Yeah, go and ask. Tell them who you are, what pack you're from, and just introduce yourself to the principal. If you can't get a hold of the principal, I would go to the head secretary. I usually did that too, and then they get me in contact with the principal. Like they'll have the principal email me or call me.
So are you classified as a local pack, or are you classified as a destination pack?
What does that mean? A local pack versus
local pack. Okay,
pack.
So local would be down the street. Destination would be something like my unit, which is Pack 51 out of the Elks Lodge in Provo. We struggle mightily because there's travel involved getting to us, as opposed to how Cub Scouts was designed, just down the street in the local neighborhood.
Yeah.
Sorry to say that.
Yeah, so we have people that come from all over.
Like she just said, they're actually pulling from, 8 different elementary schools when they're doing these back to school nights. They have people that travel from all over to come be part of their pack.
I might say on the flyers that some districts require your permission to take those flyers into any school. So check with your school district also before you take a flyer in, because if they get upset at you, you don't want to get them mad. So follow all the proper lines of authority there so that the district knows what's going on too, school district.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why in our district, we've been contacting the principals. If the principal says yes, go for it. Davis County, at a district-wide level, we had a hard time getting in. But when we approached the principals individually, we had a lot more success. I'll admit, not a ton, but we did have more than trying to go with the district at large.
If they don't, like, you have a table
Yes,
there.
most of the public schools have a public board that you can put one flyer on. Canyons and Jordan School District both will let you put one flyer up on a public board.
Thanks, Nita. Any other questions regarding this PAC demonstration right now? Dakota, do you want to explain about the archery?
Yeah, so this inflatable archery thing that we have going on right here, it's a lot of fun. So it's super easy to set up. I mean, 2 people can do it, no problem. It basically has little balls that hover and the kids try and shoot them off. The council is currently getting a second one of these that's going to live in the southern half of our council. These are for units to check out, to be used at back to school nights, or excuse me, not the back to school nights per se, but your joining events. So what you invite them to come to from the back to school nights. If you are interested in using one of these, please contact your district executive and they will get it scheduled properly through the council office.
Okay, any questions on that before we move on?
Another thing I can tell you is that our executive has lined us up to be at the county fair. And we're going to use that.
Yeah, I was going to just say that, Morris. Thanks. Yep. So we're going to use it for a couple of nights at the county fair and during the day at the county fair up here in Cache County. And then we'll be getting it back to Dakota in time for his thing on Saturday next week. So it'll be nice to have a second one.
Yeah,
we do have
that's
to share.
A great thing. Okay, Dakota, do you want to talk about the ropes?
Yeah. So real quick, we have a ropes course right here. I'm not sure if you guys can see it very well. So it's climbing wall, it's high ropes. We have a low ropes option. So we allow units to come out here and participate. It's a great activity. If you're interested, contact the council office. They can get you guys on the schedule. There is a cost associated with it, but it's a great activity. And it's a great one to invite kids that are checking your guys' units out. So we have one up here in Ogden. We also have one at Camp Tracy. So just contact the council office for availability.
And they also, I know at this one here at the Scout office, you can do climbing merit badge here. At least
yes,
work
we
on
do.
it.
We
and
do
they
also
do that at Tracy
badge.
also?
We don't do the climbing merit badge at Camp Tracy. There's not a climbing wall there, but we do offer the climbing merit badge here. There might be one more this year. So if you're interested in signing your unit up for that, go ahead and check that out. We also do overnighters here in this big open field. So if you're interested in spending the night as part of a COPE experience, please reach out to me. We'd be more than happy to get you guys set up.
That's fun.
Yeah, I've used that ropes course for my units in the past. They have a blast there. It's even fun for leaders if you're willing to go up and try it out. So, okay, any more questions regarding the outdoor stuff that we had? Is that a question for them? Okay, that's Otherwise, we'll take questions and answers after we're done with all the other presenters, if that's okay, unless it feels like it's better to address it immediately. All right, we're going to let Dakota come back into the Scout office, and Jake's going to talk about the membership reports and updates, the fees and policies that are coming. Should I turn mine?
All right.
That's a bad echo.
We're good now? Okay, I'm going to share my screen. I just sent everybody my email. In case you want any of these materials after, please just email me and I'll get this to you. I'm going to talk about some of the membership fee and policy changes. I'm just going to share my screen here, but first I'm going to talk about where we're at as a council on our youth membership. Some of you are privy to this information throughout the year, and some of you, this will look very new to you. So we have on this side here the names of the districts. And this is our membership in those districts at the end of last year, giving us a total of 5979. And then our total as of today, and our total is at 5259, which means right now we have 720 less kids in the program than we had at the end of 2022. So part of what we are trying to do as a council is to achieve membership growth in our youth programs. This number on the right hand here is kind of how far away each of the districts are to hitting growth. Our goal as a council, and Angie Workman, our chair for this, we are tasked to grow our council by 5%. Since COVID and everything there, we haven't had growth. We've kind of slowly dwindled a little bit, but last year we did have growth in our Cub Scouts and in girls in the program. What we really need more than ever is more Cub Scouts in the program. This number keeps moving the most because we have so many kids in the Scouts BSA program and not enough kids that are starting out between the ages of 5 and 10 years old. So anyway, I wanted to give you a little idea of where we're at there. And again, we got 720 kids to hit growth, and then we want to go 5% from there. So we're going to talk throughout the night with different ideas on how to do that, as we've already started with doing a join night and back to school recruiting. And we'll have other ideas here for you too. But I did want to touch for a bit here on the fee increase that starts tomorrow from the national side. So the policy change too is that starting tomorrow, any youth or adult that is registered will be registered for 12 months. There's no more prorated fees. So when they register, they'll pay for a full year through that month that they registered, and then they will get notified as well as the unit key 3, which would be like the Cub Master, the committee chair, and the charter rep. They would get notified of that person coming due on re-upping their membership. And so between them and the family themselves, they would get notified to renew for the next year from the time that they start. So the fee increases they didn't move it much. The big change this time around was for merit badge counselors. Merit badge counselors will now cost $25 instead of being for free. So along with this, I have kind of a FAQ sheet as well. So again, if you would like any of this information sent to you, please just email me and I will get that to you by tomorrow. The FAQ sheet looks like this here.
I know you're waiting for questions later, but the fee for merit badge counselors, I don't know if that was well thought out. People volunteer their time. I think we're going to lose a heck of a lot of merit badge counselors because they're not going to want to pay, and troops are not and are not going to be able to afford to pay to have merit badge counselors. This one was not well thought out. Did they ask anybody at the council levels their thoughts on this, or what was the purpose behind this one?
Yeah, no, they didn't ask for our feedback. They just let us know when they had their national meetings at the end of May. But they talked about it as something that they need to do at this point. Just the cost to do background checks alone. They've just kind of waived that fee for a long time, but they talked about that, and also that they are in a bit of debt with the bankruptcy that they've now got through. So that is from their end, but they didn't ask for our feedback on that part. That's because this money doesn't go towards the council, so that's not something we can change at this point either. And I do understand and note your concerns there. I think we all have those concerns, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
there's a question.
No, it's just a good point.
Yeah,
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and ask the elephant in the question in the room. Is this per merit badge or just per counselor?
Per counselor.
And somebody did bring up a good point. How many merit badge counselors would already be registered as another position anyway? I don't know. But I
is that going to be on top of that charge? Like if you're registered as an adult in a unit, is it going to be an additional $25 for your merit badge counselor?
Yeah,
No.
I'm glad you asked that question. The answer is no. We don't double dip on anybody. Like, it's just the same as if you're in 2 units, you only pay once. So if you are already in a unit, you don't pay that fee on top of that.
So maybe you get these merit badge counselors on your committees and working.
Yeah. Then they have to pay full price, but
yeah.
One other quick question is, apparently if your troop or Cub Scouts pack is registered already and registered as a group, it's only the new members that this will affect, because all the others will be registered at the same time every year.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, Morris, you're right. That's if your existing members, both adult and youth, will recharter as normal at the end of the year, then their membership runs the 12 months from January to January.
Right.
The new 12-month will only be for any new people that they add during the rest of the year.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, and briefly, I just wanted to also let you know how that affects your chartering with that year-to-year registration. So this year, registration for recharter will still be the same for all the units that are due to recharter by the end of the year. But our webpage on utahscouts.org, let's see if I can go high enough for you to see it, /recharter. It's not quite letting me share that enough. We have all of the information as well listed here for these changes, but the recharter itself will be the same as it's been. But after this year, it will probably change. It will just be a renew for each individual and for the unit at certain times. I haven't got a clear answer yet on how that will change yet, but for this year, when that recharter time happens, it will be the same as it's been the last few years. Any other questions before we move on?
Okay, is Maddie here? I didn't see Maddie join. I know Brooke is here.
Hi.
Oh, there you're together. That's why. Oh, thank you. All right, turn it over to you.
Yeah, Brooke is going to speak first.
Yes, Maddie and I would like to talk about membership moments. To help support units in recruiting and retaining members, National has created a new roundtable resource, Membership Moments. These moments will provide tips on a variety of membership topics. Current topics include creating a membership plan, setting membership goals, planning recruitment events, using geofencing, and using the membership recruitment resources available on the national website. More topics on membership will be released in quarterly batches.
Right, so Brooke is on the team that's developing these membership moments, so she's definitely the one to ask if you have a question about those. But But these membership moments are a brand new resource for Roundtable. And they're available now on the Roundtable support page. So if you log into the support page and then you click over to the resources page, you'll be able to find those membership moments. So even if you aren't a Roundtable commissioner, I would go to the Roundtable support page and check out all the great resources available that are available. So these membership moments are meant to be part of every Roundtable and to be delivered before the monthly hot topic. So for example, your Roundtable structure should look something like you should have an opening, you should have your announcements, you should have your safety moment because every Scout meeting has a safety moment. You should have your membership moment and then your hot topic. And then you would go to your breakouts like your Cub Scout and your Scouts BSA breakout. So these membership moments are designed to be delivered by the district membership chair or someone that the membership chair appoints to deliver the membership moment. And they would go to the Roundtable support page and look at the library of membership moments and decide on one that best fits the needs of the units in their district. Or they can create their own if there's something local that's more pertinent or more applicable to them at that time. They're also designed to be easily read and easy to use as a springboard for membership discussion and recruitment discussion and retention discussion. So that's a great opportunity for Roundtable as well to share membership and growth ideas. They're available on the website in PDF form, so they're easy to download and use. You can email them to units. You can give out paper copies if you like, but they're meant and designed to be very, very usable. So these are the new membership moments which have been created, and there should be, like Brooke said, they'll be released in batches. So quarterly, you should see 7 or 8. Does that sound about right? 7 or 8 of these topics being released onto the support page quarterly. If you want to, if you have any questions, we're at camp, and so we're going to have to log off soon. If there are any questions on this, we'd love to answer them now while we can.
Yeah, that's great. Can you, is this on here? Brooke, would you share your email so people, if they have questions, can contact you?
Yeah, will you put mine on the
chat? I think it would be good to do it verbally as well because this is being recorded and some people will watch the recording later.
That's right. So Fuller, F-U-L-L-E-R, family 704 at gmail.com. Fuller family 704 at gmail.com is mine.
And mine is Matilda Quilts. So Quilts, Matilda Quilts, all one word, at gmail.com. If you go to the Roundtable support page, down at the bottom, there's a place where you can contact the National Service Team. And if you have a question and you put it in that box, that will reach me as well. So you can ask questions there. You can also go to the Roundtable News and Discussion Facebook page. That is the official Roundtable page, and you can watch for updates there, and you can also ask questions there if you'd like to find me there as well. Okay. Are there any questions about membership moments or how to use them or what they are? I love it when we answer our own questions.
You did a great job. Thank you so much. All right.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Thanks. Bye-bye. We're going to turn the time now over to Mark Brown. Are you on tap, Mark? There you are. No, that's not Mark. Is Mark's iPhone on there? Mark, where are you?
I'm here. I'm here.
There you are.
I can see myself and I can see
okay.
you.
Mark's going to talk to this idea that they started doing a Weaver Rapids district of helping units and districts set their membership goals.
One thing that we've done with Dakota is we have planned some activities that can be used as membership recruiting tools. We have a Weeblos Wood. We also have coming up this month, we have an Ogden Raptor game camp out where they can get tickets and they can participate. There's activities every month during the summer that units can use for that. in our May roundtable, we had a kickoff where we discussed all of these different activities and gave dates. And then we looked at the numbers in each unit, and basically we had a goal setting opportunity where we had talked about, where they were at last year and had them set a goal for themselves in their unit of how many youth that they would recruit, whether it be young men or young women or girl and boy Cub Scout packs as well. And, we're following up with them on that in emails and things like that to see how they're coming on their recruiting. But the thing that we did as a district, and a lot of this goes to Dakota, is using the tools that we have and using them, using activities also to be a recruiting opportunity for them to do that. Dakota, would you like to add anything else to that? Okay, maybe not, but that's kind of what we've been doing. So there is follow-up from us as a district with the units to find out how they're doing on the goals that they have set, not what we've set for them, but what they've set for themselves.
Question.
Yes.
Once they have one of these recruiting activities and have everybody come, how do they get information from the parents? Do they get email? Do they fill out a worksheet? Do they have them sign in? How do you get the parents information so they can follow up with the parents?
Well, we're not doing the recruiting. We're letting the units, we're providing an opportunity for the units to bring youth to these activities. And so the units, are putting out flyers, and then they're contacting, the people themselves. The district is not going out and contacting them. The unit is.
Okay. How did the unit know who to contact?
Well, we have a Dakota. Did I hear you? We have a sign up.
Right here.
We have a sheet that, the units will be able to contact from that, see where they're located. But most of the time it's the unit that is bringing them to the activities. We're providing a joining activity, and the units are inviting their own people.
Okay.
Do you make it very open that you're wanting people to come and show interest in Scouts so
Yes.
that they're not shanghaied while they're there? I mean, they're there because they want to be there.
They want to be there. They want to learn about scouting. And we're giving a unit an opportunity to invite. Brian's pack has their joining night, but let's say, for example, if we were at the baseball game, a troop decides, or a pack decides they want to use that as a recruiting tool, they can put that out in their neighborhood. Come join pack so-and-so at a back to school, at the Raptors game, for example.
Great. Thank you.
Any other questions for Mark? Oh, there's a comment here from Dave Augustin. He says, I ask or make them go to beascout.org and fill out an interest, or I fill it out for them. Yeah.
Well, we want to give them the opportunity to see what scouting is about. And also we're going to follow up with, with the units here this next month and see how they're coming on their recruiting goals. Okay. And they're the ones we don't set it again.
Go ahead, sorry.
We don't set the recruiting goal for them. They set it for themselves.
Okay, I think that's amazing. That's great. Great way to look at it. So our next presenter, and I don't know if April, are you on here under a different name?
Jim Bridget.
I haven't seen her on. I haven't
But
seen
do you have a minute you could address some of the things that, would you be able to speak to some of the things that she was going to talk about and some of the successes? You've had a lot of youth join in the last while in your district.
I can tell you about what we've done. I don't know specifically what you'd asked her to do. Yeah, but do you want me to just address our approach to our roundup nights?
Right.
Okay. So yes, we've had great success for a number of years on our fall roundup. And the way we've done it, especially for Rock Springs and Green River, and then in Evanston and Pinedale, Evanston's gone well too. We do send out flyers to every kid. When we started it, it was just we would do it just to the boys in the elementary schools. And now we're boys and girls, obviously. And we've gone all the way up through 8th grade. So the middle school, junior highs, as well as the elementary schools. But we're much more successful naturally at the Cub Scout age. Anyway, we send out flyers to everybody. And then we do that so that the flyers go out just a couple of days in advance of in each community having a roundup night where all of if we have one or more packs and troops in the community, they come to a certain place on that evening for a sign-up time. And in Rock Springs, where we still have multiple packs and multiple troops, then the parents can come talk to each pack and each troop, whichever they need, and decide which one they want to sign up with, if they want to base it on what part of town the unit meets in, or which day they meet, or which leaders they connect with the best. Whatever criteria they look for, all of the packs and hopefully all of the troops are there to be talked to all at once. And we've had great success with that. We have ranged everywhere from 50 to 100. A couple of times we topped 100 Cub Scouts registered in Green River and Rock Springs in that one night. We do Green River and Rock Springs together because a lot of our advertising is done together. The radio stations are very willing to do public service announcements. Newspapers are the same newspapers, things like that we use. The flyers are by far the most successful, but then we capitalize on everything else we can too to try to draw attention to it. And those two communities are close enough together that they share a lot of those publicity methods together. That's our roundup night. Yeah, and they've been very successful for a number of years.
So, quick question on your flyers. How do you I live here in Price, and we're unable to get flyers directly in the hands of the kids. We're required to put them in an office, and very few people see them. Did you have mailing addresses, or your schools allow them to go in, or how did you get these to these kids?
Yeah, we're fortunate that our schools are cooperative on sending them out. We don't have to deal with the Peachtree approach yet. And our schools are very willing to let us send flyers home. And all of our districts are willing to let us send flyers home. So, yeah, we're fortunate on that one.
That's outstanding. I don't know why Utah has to be so different than Wyoming. If we could get, I think we do better if we could get flyers directly in the hands of families instead of, sitting 10 flyers in an office that maybe a few parents will see,
Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
And we just keep doing the best we can.
Well, it's frustrating.
And that is another example, though, of even if the district-wide doesn't let you do things, in some cases, the individual school might. And so it can still be worth working with the principal in each school to try it out.
And somebody, I don't know which Brian this is, said there is a reason. Do you want to take a minute to explain?
Not particularly, because I don't know who I'm in the chat with, and I don't want to offend sensibilities, but there is definitely a reason why Utah has to be different than everybody else.
All right.
Okay.
And then there was a question, does the council have plans to have a joining booth set up at the Utah State Fair? with the games and attractions. I don't know why that I hadn't thought of that, but that's a great idea. So I'll have to look into that. I don't know if it's too late to get into that or not, but could be a great exposure. I agree.
Yeah, that's good feedback. Thank you for that. In the county fairs alone, though, some of them can cost a lot, and part of that can become a hindrance as well. Sometimes you have to get to be friends with the county commissioners. Weber County commissioners are friends here in Ogden, and a lot of times they'll give it a booth to us for a full 3 days for like $50, but the normal price is like $500. And the state fair is probably a bit more, but we can look into that just to see what it would cost us and if it would be worth our, return on investment kind of thing. I know the cash for Jason, maybe you can explain how much yours costs. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our district's planning on having a booth there, and I think they're just charging him for the electrical cabling, which is $35 a day. So that was the whole reason why we were talking today about getting the archery range back down here, because we'll have presence there. And the gentleman that's running the booth has reached out to several of the units, invited them to come and participate. So I've got to get flyers ready tomorrow so that we'll have a presence there. So we're excited about that.
Oh, good. And I think the county fairs are going to be something that you get local exposure and direct contact. And so I think if you can get into the county fairs, that's going to be even a bigger deal too. But
another question on county fairs, as we've looked at doing that, most of them tend to be 2 to 5 days, but our Uena County one, the Evanston area, is 10 or 11 days long. And they want you there. If you have a booth, they want you there they don't want you just being there on the weekend or something. They want you there every day. And so we looked at that and decided that was too much of a commitment to make for our one pack and one troop.
Yeah.
In Evanston.
Good
that's a good point, because that is the regular thing in the bylaws or contract that I've seen as well for any of these fairs. And that if you have a good enough rotation of people to do 3 or 4 days, that's pretty daunting on its own, but 10 days is, is a bit more.
Well, the city celebrations that are usually just a 1-day event are another option.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
For local, very, very good for local exposure and contact. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Bud, for filling in. And we'll turn the time now back over to question and answer if anyone else has any more questions. And let's open it up for that. And anybody that has an answer, please pipe in.
Do you have specific breakdowns on council numbers per county? Like, I know that, so I'm in Silver Sage and we're down to 480 kids council wide. I'm curious, do you have that data more localized to the areas? Like how much lower is Utah County as opposed to, say, Juab County?
I think I could find that. It would be a little bit more of dissecting the information from, looking at the units that are in specific counties and getting that. But off the top of it, I couldn't just have that ready. But I think I could do something like that if you needed that information. I can.
Well, I think maybe it would be helpful as a targeted approach. I know down in my area, off the top of my head, there are 3 packs that I'm aware of. I know there's more, but there's 3 that I'm aware of. One of them has 2 kids. One of them is 8, I think, and the other's about 30.
Where are you at, Ryan?
I'm Unit 51 out of the Elks Lodge in Provo. Okay. And 51 is the one that's down to 2 kids, and we can't get anything whatsoever. We tried a joining night last year, and the DE said he was even going to be there, and he never showed up. We didn't get any hits whatsoever. We're dry down here. Like, it's rough.
I certainly hear you. I had the closed down a troop a couple of years ago. We just were down to three youth, and we had them to the point of where all they had to do was finish their Eagle. So it's hard sometimes in some areas more than others. I get it.
Where's down here, Brian?
Provo. East Bay Provo.
Does anybody have any ideas for him? Yeah.
One of the big things we've learned this year is it's much easier to recruit in areas where scouting is going strong. It might, in some ways, that seems obvious, but where we have in Rock Springs, our units are thriving, and that's our easiest place to recruit more kids. It's a lot easier to recruit kids where there are strong units than where there aren't any.
Also easier to recruit where there's not a stigma against scouting in general.
Hey, Brian, I'll shoot you a message here, but let's touch base. Roland Bagnall and I, we'd love to work with you and help you out. This is McKay Allen. I just started working in your area, and let's sit down. Let's see what we can do to help out and get your unit going.
Thanks, McKay. Do you know how to get connected with him?
Yeah, I'll get it figured out.
Okay, great. That's definitely a concern. And one other thing that we didn't have on the agenda tonight that has been brought up is the scouting. Where is scouting? What is it called that Georgia does? I can't think of it.
Which one? Learning for Life?
Learning for Life.
Exploring.
Yeah, Scout Reach. Scout Reach. Scout Reach is done in the schools, right? Through the schools. Mm-hmm. And find out what schools they have a Scout Reach program going in, and see if you can kind of partner with them a little bit more. That's an option too. There are many schools that may not have packs associated with them or kids from the packs, but if they have Scout Reach, that's a way to get into the schools there.
Yeah, that would apply to the Salt Lake region, so Wasatch Peaks or Oak Mountain area, but yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Okay. Have there been other questions come in?
Just the comment.
Yeah, and that's to everyone. So Brian, you can read that. Yeah, and the other thing that we brought out in the past that is important is just continue to ask. All those contact points that it takes a number of to get a yes sometimes, and so you just got to keep asking. So, any other comments or questions at this time? Then I am good to say we're done for the evening, and thank you all for joining us and for participating and sharing. And we'll continue to work as a team. We are all on the same team. So hopefully that we can come up with some answers to some of the challenges that we have or the opportunities to learn. I guess I don't look at them as challenges. I look at everything as an opportunity to learn something. So we certainly have. So thank you again. And we'll sign off, and then we'll have our next, what time? It's on October. Aren't we scheduled to have another council-wide meeting?
Yeah, we'll get information out. We'll do another one in the fall.
Yeah.